Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. Well, we continue on with the ELO story. I'm going to say ELO from now on instead of Electric Light Orchestra because my tongue gets tired a bit around that sometimes. So the ELO story. So they were 2 albums into their 5 album record deal that they had. The first of those being Out of the Blue in '77 and then Discovery in 1979. They were on the crest of a wave and were a massive force in the world at that time. But a side thing came in 1980, and that was the release of the movie Xanadu. Now, Xanadu had the iconic Gene Kelly, of course, who starred in that movie Singing in the Rain. We had Olivia Newton-John, who was in the iconic role of Sandy in the movie Grease. And then we had Michael Beck, who was not quite so well known, but had some roles around that time. And because this was, in a sense, a musical, they called on Jeff and ELO to actually write half the album. Now, Xanadu, unfortunately, did not go so well. You'd think with all of those moving parts, Gene Kelly, Olivia Newton-John, and ELO, that the movie would have actually done really, really well. But although those guys gave iconic performances, I mean, you think of Gene Kelly on roller skates, for instance, and this was his last movie role. He did actually die in 1996, some 16 years after this movie was released. But I think due to just some character development and also the story, the script, it didn't go so well. It only just really broke even though they put so much effort into this movie. And you'll see with the Xanadu clip I've got later, there's absolutely everything in that clip that you could possibly imagine, almost too much. But just in terms of ELO though, and Jeff Lynne's writing at this time, I think this album is very, very significant from ELO's perspective. I think what was happening is we were seeing a transition from the orchestral backing that was so prevalent in Discovery and so prevalent in Out of the Blue to more keyboard-focused, technology-focused music. He didn't use technology to overwhelm what he was doing. He used technology to enhance what he was doing. And because it was a movie and in a sense a major release, I think he put absolutely everything he possibly could into these songs. The production is fantastic. We've got really, really good strings and we've got really, really good technology happening all the way through his songs. So I believe the 5 songs that he wrote for this movie, of course, we've got Xanadu itself, that was written by Jeff and sung by Olivia Newton-John. How good would it be if those two actually got on stage to sing this song? I don't think it's ever actually happened. But Xanadu is actually performed by Jeff in Jeff Lynne's ELO even now, and I think comments from him has been it's probably one of his favourite written songs that he's ever written, and it's certainly a favourite that the band likes playing. So we had that one, and you'll just see the way that the synthesizers and keyboards are starting to really make their mark in the sound. Just the way that song starts is amazing. We then had All Over the World, which is another song that is played live today. And for me, this is the turning point song for him. This is where we've got the technology and the strengths all going at the same time. Absolutely brilliantly produced song. All over the World, I believe, is a significant song in the ELO's history. We then got I'm Alive, which is just a technological marvel in that one. And then two, I suppose, lesser known songs, Don't Walk Away and The Fall. Both of those are beautiful as well. Now, if you are an ELO fan, you really can't be an ELO collector without having the Xanadu soundtrack, because that soundtrack actually went to #1 in a lot of countries in the world, and Xanadu was the only #1 hit that ELO ever had. So you've got to really have that album to be a collector. I wouldn't go as far as to say you've got to have the movie, but definitely the soundtrack, because we still had gold, platinum status all through the world with this album, thanks to ELO and Jeff's songs. But you know what? I think we jump to being critical so often in this world. It's almost like if something doesn't meet our expectations, we jump all over it. And we think, oh, that was just not good or whatever. But I like to look at each thing on the merits. I like to look at it in terms of, well, what has this movie brought to the world? Brought Gene Kelly on roller skates. It had brought his last movie performance. We have a worldwide #1 song in this album. And to me, the thing that typified, because the movie was actually about the establishment of a nightclub, and in a sense the fusion of the old 20s music with the disco 80s music that was happening at the time, roller skates, the whole deal. So for me, the thing that Xanadu, and just any word that starts with X, because Xanadu is spelled Xanadu, yeah, that's right. There's something quite cool about the magic in this movie, because Olivia Newton-John's role in this movie is a muse. She comes down to help Michael and his character out to get this nightclub off the ground, and then she leaves again. But you know, I think in this world, everything's become a bit serious, and we don't think about the magic. You know, if you watch a magician do a card trick and he picks out your card, it's an amazing thing to watch that. If you see fireworks in the sky, you know, the red going up and the blue and the green and the yellow, how cool is it when one of those really, really big ones goes off? And how cool is it when there's just so many in the sky at the same time? It's a magic experience. There's something wonderful about it. And that's why people go to fireworks displays, because they want to be captivated by the magic. There's magic all around us. Yeah, I remember just before shooting this video, I was out by the back lawn and it was covered with leaves. Well, there's no leaves now. The lawnmower picked them all up and now I've got this nice green patch again. It's almost magical. You get a real sense of satisfaction about that. Or perhaps a weed, of all things, growing up through bitumen or growing up through paving. How resilient for a plant to be able to do that. It's incredible when you think about how magic that is. Or if you think about just a bird sitting on the fence. You look at this thing just sitting there, quite happy. He's not worried about anything in the world. Nature's looking after it. Well, I suppose if you are a person of faith, you could say that God's looking after them. And you just see, well, what an amazing creature. What if you think about a kangaroo, the way it hops so quickly, a cheetah, the way it runs, monkeys, the way that they commune with each other, and human beings, when we are actually in a good place, the way we interact with each other, there's something quite magical and something quite amazing about that. So this word magic and this word magic and wonder are two things that go hand in hand. And I think each day, and I know for myself, I've always got to be looking for the moments of wonder, the things that just take my breath away. not often are they like big fireworks sort of things, but they are little things. Like I might see some particular scene and I think, wow, that's amazing. I do remember actually another magical scene in Devastation, and when I was involved in chaplaincy in Kangaroo Island with the fires earlier this year, I remember being told by some locals to go down to a beach called Hanson Bay, which is part of the iconic walk that you do from Flinders Chase. And what I saw was this beautiful, pristine beach, absolutely stunning. You know, the sand was beautiful, the water was blue, the sky was fantastic. But all around this beach, all around it was black sandhills. In fact, in the foreground there was a cabin that was still there, and next to it was a cabin that was no longer there because of the fire. Now, if I'd just seen the beach as it used to be, it sure would have been beautiful. It would have been a pristine beach, but I would have probably forgotten it. But because of the black sandhills as well, it took on a brand new thing. It told a story, a snapshot in time. And for me, that was beautiful. It was wonderful, in fact, and magical. And I will always remember that image of this beach with the black sandhills. It's the whole thing that made that view so magical for me. So magic's all around us. I think we've just got to look. We've just got to look around us. A bird sitting on an electric wire. The fact a bird can fly at all, and here we are stuck to the ground, but a bird can fly. What about when a plane flies overhead? How is it that a big heavy thing like that can fly at all? What about a boat? If I drop a bit of metal into the water, it's going to sink. But for some reason, when it's in the shape of a boat and it floats, I mean, it's got something to do with displacement, whatever that is. But it's quite amazing and wonderful and magical almost to see what is around us every single day. And this is what the movie Xanadu is all about, I believe. It takes us back to a time when there was magic, when there was fun, when there was whimsy. And it was just, who cares? It was a movie. It may not have gone so well, but it still has its place in history. Mainly because of the iconic people that were in that movie, and because of these iconic songs that the Electric Orchestra and Jeff actually wrote. It's quite nice for me to see Olivia Newton-John singing, taking the lead for an ELO song. And if any of the ELO team are actually watching this video, why not give Olivia a ring and say, hey, look, do you want to sing Xanadu with us? How cool would that be? That would be amazing. I know that she performed earlier this year at the Bushfire Relief concert here with John Farnham, and they sang You're the Voice. So she's still singing. So if any ELO team people are watching this, why not ask her? That would be really, really, really cool to do that. Anyway, I'll leave that one with you. So look for magic. There's magic within ourselves, even us, and the way that we are, our dreams and aspirations, and all that makes us who we are. There is magic in us, wonder in us. Hold on to that with all your might. We don't have to meet some sort of criteria or some level of normal, whatever that word actually means. I wonder whether normal even exists. I think we are all different in our own ways, and this normal is a bit of a fallacy even. So look for the magic within you and the magic around you. And may that be an encouragement for you as you consider the movie Xanadu and the amazing songs that Jeff wrote. Well, on to the clips today. I've of course included Xanadu, the Olivia Newton-John version. I think, we've got to have her singing this song because she just sang it so well. And there are clips from the movie. You'll just see how much is going on through the roller skating and the dancing and all the little stuff. I think we've even got tightrope walkers, and you will see Gene Kelly on roller skates and that. And while we're on Gene Kelly, I thought I'd put a clip, his iconic, in fact, one of the most iconic movie clips of all time, Singing in the Rain from 1952, and a little part of his iconic dance signature tune, Singing in the Rain. And at the end of that clip, you see a policeman. I reckon he's one of the most famous policemen of all time, because he just gets to feature in this iconic scene. So I don't know whether I'll actually ever get to Gene Kelly in any of my series unless it's requested. So let's give him a go while he's in this clip. And I've also included a live version of All Over the World. As I've mentioned, I think All Over the World was such a pivotal piece of songwriting that Jeff has done. It's a song that everybody loves, and it's introducing technology, and it's also got the strings going on at the same time. This particular clip is again from the 2014 concert where Jeff thought about 12 people are going to rock up and about 50,000 rocked up. So there's a lot more strings on stage. So a fantastic performance of that song. So I trust that will be an encouragement for you. By the way, all the links to my clips are below. I've also included a link to my last commentary, which was on the Diary of Horace Wimp, which was from the Discovery album. So if you want a recap from that one, feel free to look at that as well. So, and I always say this at the end of my videos because I don't want to push people, but if you do like this video, feel free to give it the thumbs up and subscribe and click on the little bell, and you'll get a video every time I upload a video, which is about 2 to 3 times a week. I'm trying to build up support for this channel, so if you have hung around till the end, thank you for doing so, and I trust this has been encouragement for you. By all means, pass the word around for other people who you think might benefit from this video as well. So until next time, when we are continuing on with the ELO story. So until next time, I'll catch you around. Bye.